We're live. Who all is in the house? Oh, wow. Quite a crew already. Who all has been here? Looks like Unfinished Project was here first. I'm sure that's a shocker. Auto Salvage Outlaws, just Mopar Joe likes the thumbnail. Indeed. Best way I can describe this week. Danny Boyd is here. Henry's Hot Rod Garage. Henry's Hot Rod Garage is at 289 subscribers. He is over the halfway point, and I think he's going to get there. He's got some good stuff going on his channel. Cope Racing Transmissions is here. Rob's Rods and Street Cars. Heavens Mopar Scott says hello and to all my NNN family. Well, hello. Let's see. Scarlet the Four-Eyed Cuda is here. I was chatting in there earlier myself. Mohawk 62, NSB Custom Cars. NSB, looks like we got tornadoes going through the middle of the country. And for once, you guys might have the nice weather that's not scary. 6% recycled, a.k.a. 94% original parts. JB's Little Shop is here. Pure Pontiac Garage. When I see Pure Pontiac Garage, I think of the Ivory Soap. What is it? 99.44%. LP94 Lars. Colleen Tebow. Party can't start without Lars and Colleen. Two Hacks Jeff. Glad you're here. Frankenstein C20. Always good to see you in the house. Travis's Mopar Garage. Junkyard D. Junkyard D is one of these that's got me wondering what he's going to come up with next, because he kind of made a big splash with his monkey bike annex. James and James Show. See, when I see James and James Show, it means one of the James, but we don't know which one, but they're both cool. So you know what? I'll take either one. I suspect that's Big James, but I could be wrong. Glad you're here. Smoke Wrench Garage. Torque Racing Production. I just saw him put up a video on Ring Gap just a little bit ago. We'll watch it a little bit later. Lunar Outlaw Garage. Andrew Nelson's here. Thanks for joining us. New Guys Garage. And John Cope's got 5 potatoes. Cool. Let's see here. Leighton Welding. Dust Devil Garage. I was just thinking about you, man. 174. So, on the pool here, Ryan Barr's Nest had day 175. So, next up on the guess is to win Brian's car will drive out of the garage is day 153 on here. And that was by Brian himself. So you got 21 days, Brian. That's your own guess. And then after that will be William at 150. Dude Mopar, how's it going? Mopar Jeff 604. Sam's MFA. Now that's not Master of Fine Arts. I know I've asked you that before. I don't know why that's interesting, but it is. MFA. Dutch Guys Garage. Glad you're here. Wendy English. All right. James said we got a crowd here early. Yeah. This it's been kind of a crazy week, but can all just hang out here and bring up the topics of the week. Leighton says Storm missed him by 7 miles. I think it missed Joe by 4. Funnel Cloud did. All right. Great Cloud in here. Thanks for showing up. Oh, and Twisted Mopar Garage. Timely that you get here. Twisted Mopar Garage just put up a video on a Duster Twister. I haven't seen it yet, but it's got 593 views an hour ago. And Dennis has 80-some subscribers. That's 593 views. That one's taken off for you, man. That should do some good stuff. Bad Tree Blake, I figured you'd like the thumbnail. If you know, you know, right? Red Beard is here. Glad everybody could make it. Yeah, we're freestyling tonight. You never know what we're going to do. I will say that we had a contest last week to see between One Eyed Cat, Don English, and Tony's Hot Rod Garage who would get to 500 subs first. They were both right around the 450 mark. They were about a sub apart. And then overnight, Tony, to his shock and surprise, was at 500. And we know that there was some efforts on that. We think we know what happened, but it's all good. But anyway, the winner of the contest with a guess of March 31st and Tony was Just Mopar Joe. So Joe, if you're watching, if you don't have it tomorrow, I guess probably Monday or so, you're going to have your shirt and stickers. No Name National shirt and stickers. Lunar says, quite the crew here tonight. Absolutely. They're the best crew, the people that come in here. Twisted Mopar, Redbeard Daniel, James and James, Torque Racing. It's a who's who of the automotive community hanging out here, and I appreciate all of you. Dude Mopar said, Bad Tree, that was a good video last night. Absolutely. I loved that premiere. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Blake called me on the way to the airport. It's just like, hey, man, I just decided to go to Texas tomorrow. It's just like, okay. My mom's in the house. Yeah, Twisted Mopar. Well, I'm curious to see how that does for you. That video is taking off on that Duster Twister. James and James says, who's ready for the No Name Nationals? Best people, great weather, hot rods, and barbecue nachos. All of that and more. Who's ready? Well, I'm not quite, but I have 173 days and 3 hours and 52 minutes to get ready, and I will. Dust Devil says Duddy was happy to see Blake. Oh, yeah. That was a great video. That was just so much fun. It just looked like a really, really fun day at the track. I'm really glad we get to do these things with our friends and take off and go see them in person occasionally. Torque Racing says, I'm completely ready, but Pea Shooter and the Reaper is a different story. Well, I'm kind of in that boat. I mean, I'd like to see you guys tomorrow, but I got stuff to do. Logistics to figure out. And that's the stuff that happens behind the scenes, but it is a happening. We've got some things. I'm supposed to go out there to Jeffords here in the next couple of weeks, and I got a bunch of things I'm going to knock out administratively while I'm there. And when I do that, I'll be getting blocks of things done. But, I mean, hey, you know what? I got my clock, and excuses are the tools of incompetence. And, I mean, if I don't get my part done, I mean, man, that lets down everybody. If one person doesn't get their part done, it lets them down maybe personally, and maybe whoever they called out or something. If I don't get my part done, that's a disaster. So I'll get my part done. Taylor Made Muscle Car says, hey, everyone, how's it going? Glad you could stop by. Man, I think we got the entire state of Florida in here tonight. Stumper says, I think my other PC died. It's green screening. Might just be the video card. Cannot help you. I'm not tech savvy enough. Ready, but the car's not. LNA Auto Works. LNA Auto Works. You've been fun watching your comments this week. Taylor Made says we're almost to 1,000, and you guys deserve it. You got fun stuff. Fun stuff. Auto Salvage is saying video card. Could be. I actually had a screen take a dive on a laptop one time, and I figured it out. It was just a screen. Thumper says I'm tech savvy enough. I build them too. Yeah, I mean, it just isn't my bag. I know people who do it, and most people who build computers have enough guts of computers laying around. It looks like a control center in one room of their house. Says the only thing I can't build is a relationship. Well, what kind? Because you've got a good relationship with all the folks in here. Yeah, I haven't seen any new guys' garage antics in a while. I'm hoping it warms up north so we see more craziness going on. Like right now, it's kind of, it's a little bit quiet, but that's going to change. Twisted Mopar says it shows he's at 93 subs. Good, you're on the move, man. Yeah, been a fun week, and I'm very proud of you guys. We had a little minor drama flare up earlier in the week about absolute nonsense, and you guys handled it with such class and restraint and discipline. I'm very, very proud of you guys. Swept it under the rug and kept moving forward. Well, swept it out of the street, kept moving forward. But thank you guys. Just goes to show how much the community itself has evolved in the last year. Buff says, almost missed this. Well, Buff, I'm glad you're here, man. Lunar says, never know when you're going to need the extra parts for your PC. I'll tell you what, there are always weird little things like the rubber feet, screws that fall out of them that are special thread. I had one time, I can't remember which key it was missing, but it bothered me forever that I couldn't find that key. Andrew says, trauma, miss all the fun. Well, this was nothing. This didn't last. this was a squeak on the radar. It was nothing. Elgin A says, what have I got going on this weekend? So last year, I finished mowing. I got 4 yards I mow, right? Cope says, who's the mayor of the community? Maybe you, Cope. I finished mowing last season. It's like late October. I have my rider. I'm all done. Pull the deck up, pull the idle down, drive up next to the trailer, lower the gate. I go to get back on the mower, pulling the gate, and it just stopped running. I thought, wow, did I run out of gas? Because I knew it was really, really low on gas. But did I run out right then? That's kind of weird timing. So I said, you know what? I'm not even going to look. I just pushed it up on the trailer, strapped it down, took off. Later on, I go to start it, and the starter just pings real loud. Engine doesn't move. I thought, no. So I think that engine's hurt. It's an 18 horsepower Briggs and Stratton. So if that engine is hurt, we might see a little bit of Briggs and Stratton content on my channel. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But regardless, I got a backup plan. So, because I got to be mowing, April 1 is my target mow date. That's when I need to have all my work together, service and all of that. And so tomorrow I'm going to be hammering down on that, probably Sunday too. Could have done it sooner, but man, I mean, I just don't like the cold enough, and I wasn't desperate enough. If I was, put on a jacket and do it. I just figured I'll just wait till we had a 70-degree day coming up tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do. Thumper says Harbor Freight has some cheap engines, and New Guys Garage can get you a discount. That's right. He is the Professor Harbor Freight. Dan from New Guys Garage. Taylor Made Muscle says we had to get a new mower this week. Deere finally on its last leg after 25 years. My Lowe's American Yard Products mower that I got for free back in 2007, maybe. 33 years old. It's a 90 model. And the original engine. I put about $200 in it when I got it. I had to do a fuel pump on it, tubes in the tires, some blades and belts, caught up all the deferred maintenance. It's been awesome. Trouble-free, except for steering box. Steering boxes on those things are really junky. They just, they're really junky. They're open and they flex a lot. And so the best thing I think to do if you want one of those to last a really good long time is when the box is new, before that metal gets all, been out of shape, where they literally stamp the bracket and put the gears in it, is build a little strut and put across there and tack weld it on each side. It'll stabilize that box. something that probably would have been a good idea to do from the factory. Yeah, Redbeard says Dixie Chopper and Hustler the way to go. I've got 4 lots, and they're different challenges to mow. One of them is easy to mow, but it's really big. One of them is really small, but it's straight up and down and different stuff in the middle. One of them, it takes longer to load and unload a mower than it does to mow the yard, but the topography is hideous. Yeah, Torx rocking an early Cub Cadet. I like the Cub Cadets. I do like them. They're really smooth. I've worked on a bunch of them. I don't like all the electronics. That's the only thing that holds me back on those. Unless you're talking about so early that it's before all that. Now that's a different story. Those things are built like small, machine tractors. Those are nice. Yeah, Thumper says if you park enough vehicles on them, you don't have grass to mow. You are correct, sir. Yes. I have a nice 6x17 foot spot out there that I don't have to mow, thanks to the Roadrunner. How's the tempo coming? Yeah. Let's ask Barrows. Barrows is working on it right now. Unfinished project has an older 27 horsepower cultivator. Yeah, I can see that being the kind of mower he would use. Yes, I can. One-Eyed Cat's in here. Hey, One-Eyed Cat, I pinned the link to your channel. If by chance there's somebody in here who is not subscribed to the One-Eyed Cat, check out his channel. Might even suggest it to friends. He was at 467 subscribers before this live, only 33 away. Oh, and dare I say, from punching his ticket to the No Name Nationals. Oh, goodness. Tatum Made Muscle said this time went with the Husqvarna made in America. Yeah, well, there's a lot to be said for that. Or if you're from where I'm from, you say Husqvarna. It's got more syllables in it. I have a friend that owns a small engine repair shop in Bluefield, and he gets all kinds of stuff in there like that. So I'm not even sure they don't do warranty work for Husqvarna. Exactly. See? That's how Sean says it too. There you go. See, I wasn't making that up. Don says there's so much love here, I'm humbled. Yeah, Don's a rock star. Oh, Andrew says 468. So Don, you're only 32 subs away. Well, we're not driving for subs for him tonight, but we'll take them. I'd be looking for a 500 live for Don English pretty soon. New Guy's Garage says snowstorming here. Oh my gosh, it's going to be 70 here tomorrow. Mr. Rodder's neighborhood, 174. That's right. Mr. Five Barrel's going to make it happen. Yes, Don, Mr. Five Barrel. Oh, Dallas, I don't even think you have seen this yet. That Mr. Rodder's neighborhood is here. I don't think he's seen this. He needs to. Because this is something I can see him liking. If I can get it off my own wall. Maybe not. The way I got the thing on there kind of snaps into a screw in the wall. But Dallas, my son here says, excuses are the tools of incompetence. 22-year veteran, Navy veteran, I figured would appreciate that. Dude Mopar says we'll be in the 90s next week. I like it hot. I'll never complain about it being hot. I hate the cold. I deal with it. You do what you got to do. I mean, you do what you got to do, but I will take 20 degrees too hot over 20 degrees too cold. I can walk outside on a 100-degree day and think, man, it's hot out here and really high humidity and everything. Okay, time to go to work. I can walk outside when it's like 40 and the wind is really biting and like, nope. Yeah, Dallas, I figured you'd like. So you notice it's purple with silver. So this is a quote from Just Mopar Joe, and from a few years ago. And so I did it in his colors. Excuses are the tools of incompetence. Figured you would appreciate that. There's virtually no one in this community that would offend. This is a hardworking community of people who make stuff happen. Just everywhere. It's great. And I like that you guys do greet one another in here. That's always very cool. Tony's Hot Rod Garage, the latest addition to the 500 Club. Dallas is listening while wrenching. Well, cool, man. JB says, I'm offended. JB actually made a video on excuses one time a while back. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. JB's got a get it done attitude. I like it. Colleen, you do not hear Jethro. He's not asleep at the foot of my desk again today. He might, but I don't see him. I think he might be in the living room for all I know. I have no idea. Yep, Dallas is here, y'all. That's right. Dallas is within earshot. Tony said that video was awesome. Yeah, I like that video. Travis says, why do today what you could do tomorrow? How do you know you get the tomorrow to do it? That's the kicker. Twisted Mopar says, I have to figure out how to fix the sound on my phone while doing videos. Dennis, if you need any help, just reach out to me. We'll help you with that. We're glad to help you. One-Eyed Cat says that JB's getting close to done on the 2.8. Kudos indeed. JB is getting close. He fired it up. It sounds great. He's got some vacuum leaks to fix, but it's exciting. Travis Newport, battle cry the lazy. Been hearing it all week, my man. But not from anybody here. Punisher Le Mans, glad you're here. And Big Block 402. Big Block 402, I'm telling you, if you notice, if I could do that, you can barely see it over my shoulder. Your piston broke the little stud off the wall where it's so heavy. So I'm going to change it because I'm tired of these lightweight little hooks I have. So that's the next thing I got to redo. My wall of kaboom back there needs some attention. Thumper's asking Punisher Le Mans if he's ready to get whooped by a 68 Le Mans. Thumper's confident. Dust Devil Garage said had to step out for a phone call. What did I miss? Well, I don't know how to tell you because I don't know how to rank what we do here. We're just having fun together on a Friday because we can. Glad you're back. School bus slugs. Yeah, no kidding. Buck Does It is here. Glad you're here. Oh, so grab that. One-Eyed Cat is saying, JB, I'm calling you out on a lap right now. Let it be known. Okay, I don't know what that means, but all right. A lap? Andrew Nelson has a great question. Who all has started making passes this year? So, in other words, everybody who intends to make a pass down the track at the No Name Nationals in Sikeston, Who has gotten ahead of that and is already making passes at their local track or otherwise? Who has made a pass down the track this year? And I can't put my hand up because I have not. Andrew Nelson, we're pretty sure we remember that he quite a memorable one. That's the best when we just hang out. I agree. This is fun. This is fun. I've got some different guests I've got scheduled for different times, but yeah, weeks have been a little unpredictable, so I haven't pinned some things down like I usually do. But I definitely have some big guests in the hopper coming a little bit later in the spring. Junk Car Willie is here. Junk Car Willie. So Junk Car Willie's over 9,000 subscribers now. Really impressive when you think about it. Junk Car Willie is just a guy with a phone and goal oriented and goes and makes it happen. And he's built a really amazing channel. Just going out and making it happen. Kudos to you, Junk Car Willie. 9,000 subs. Torque Racing saying Candy Cane to the lanes. I can't wait to see how much more competitive everybody is this year because it looks like everybody is up in the ante. I mean, every single facet looks like we're up in things. Auto Salvage Outlaw has made a pass hauling his car down the road. Dude Mopars is hopefully next month. I know Joe is hoping here. I mean, man, maybe next weekend because he's close. I think his headers are in like any day now. So that's what he's been waiting on. Travis is driven around the block. Telling you guys, 174 days is going to get here before you know it. Six percent Recycle says the Chambler is still mostly in two pieces right now, so it hasn't seen the driveway, let alone the drag strip. Just keep plugging away, man. Just keep plugging away. You know, the story about that from last year is Duddy's Adventure. Never been down the track, never had. I don't think Duddy had ever been down the track, but he never certainly had a race car. He had that 69 Dart. They got that car done. When I say done, running. He drove it to the end of the driveway, put it on the trailer, and took it to Sikeston. That is all of the drive time that car had. Took it straight to Sikeston and just went down the track all weekend with it. And on the Premier Battery Productions just did a couple days ago, or yesterday, I think it was last night. They were running that car down the track. It's in the high sevens now. So pretty amazing. Don't give up. But I'll tell you what, if Duddy had ever given up and said, I can't get it done, look what he would have missed out on. He kept hammering on. He never gave up, and he made it. Torque Racing is saying, Junk Car Willie, we need to do a collaboration video. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. Smoker Wrench is trying to install a fiberglass hood on the Dart Sport while listening. So did you get a 60? Is it a 67 or 8 Barracuda hood? Is the one that's a direct fit for the 73-4 Dart? Andrew Nelson says no excuses. Andrew Nelson's a no excuses kind of guy. Did you see my sign, Andrew? I figured you would like that. You're that kind of guy. He's a make it happen kind of guy. Of course, this chat is full of people like that. That's what's so wonderful about this community. Just such an example. You guys, you might not think about it like this because we all have fun together on here, but you guys are an example to the other communities within YouTube to say, wow, that group's really got it going on. They got it going on. They get stuff done. They even pick a track in the middle of the country to go, race and fellowship together every year. So there's other communities in YouTube that are bigger than this one that I bet you stand back and say, wow, look at that group. Junk Car Willie says because of help from the community. Yeah, well, indeed, but he does his part. Junk Car Willie makes it happen. Dude Mopar saying the race car is down a little bit. Going to try the Coronet. Yeah, I like what Dude Mopar's got going on down there. It's cool stuff. Dust Devil wants to be more competitive than last year. Hey, make it happen. The only thing I was telling somebody else is yesterday that one reason that we were all kind of pressing so much to try to make the inaugural No Name Nationals was not because we didn't know if we'd never have another one. We figured there was an extremely high likelihood we'd have another one. But if you say from the get-go that it's something you do every year, it's very easy for people to say, well, I'll do it one of these years. One of these years, I'll get a car ready and go. And then that turns into doesn't happen. So if people put everything behind the first one, whether they make it or not, if they make it, great. If they don't make it the first year, but they made a really hard effort, they are way more likely to make it the second year than if they had just said, well, maybe I'll give it a try come next year. And so I really think that by pressing to try to make the inaugural like we did, it really helped not only the turnout for the inaugural, but we're seeing that it's helping the turnout for the second annual and so forth. So, we only get so many more days to do things in our life, and we don't know what the last one's going to be. So to me, and everybody's different, I saw a lot of value in us all getting together in one spot and making it happen. So, because I could never live long enough in a lifetime to go and see every single person whom I'd like to meet and fellowship with in person, whom I've met through the YouTube automotive community. And that was the only way to do it. One-Eyed Cat is more worried about passing tech. You'll pass tech, Don. I mean, I know your car and I know a few things you need to do, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. You got 174 days to make sure that thing will pass tech. You're going to be all right. Because the things that you need to do to pass tech, Don, I think are relatively minor. Like a battery hold down. I'm thinking that you've got like a bungee or something, which I don't think is inherently bad. They can't spark or anything, but I know that Deke wants a fixed hold down, et cetera. Just a few things like that. But I don't think you're that far off on passing tag. Thumper says the 5.9 needs to go. So while I'm home, if you need a hand, let's get it done. That's what you guys are all about. You're all helping each other. It's great. Henry's Hot Rod Garage has an interesting question. Be interesting to have people weigh in on. What is everyone's thought on a 2.0 rod ratio engine, 2-to-1 rod ratio? So that would be like, for example, a 3-inch stroke, 6-inch rod, or a 3.5-inch stroke, 7-inch connecting rod. That's a lot more than any of your factory combinations. What's everybody's thought on that? Rod ratio that long. The Unfinished Project says Dart Sport. Fancy that. New Guy's Guitar is here. New Guy's Guitar has really been growing leaps and bounds. He's passing people on his way up through the field in the No Name 500. Smoke Wrench Garage is April 1st, weather permitting, test and tune time. Well, April 1st is in 3 hours and 25 minutes, Mr. Smoke Wrench. Dean says it's belt fed and drives a fully automatic. Well, that sounds exciting and all NFA-ish. 38 POS Racing is here. Tailor-Made Muscle and Smoke Wrench or sub. Yep, I think you guys will enjoy each other's content. I'm subscribed to both. One-Eyed Cat's at 468. Well, only 32 to go. Deborah is Loving Life. I believe that's Mrs. ASO. 6% recycle is going to 100% better than last year. Yeah, I mean, just, we only live so many years, and I'm thrilled to have a weekend a year that I get to spend with you guys in person. And I feel very fortunate we can do that. Redbeard could race Venom tomorrow, but doesn't want to race till he has the upgrades done. Well, Redbeard, you got a real handle on that. The car's seasoned, and you got a handle, and you do what you need to do in your time. I'll be looking for content on it when you do. Ron English has an inaugural No Name Nationals autograph shirt. I can't wear one big enough for the second annual. Andrew Nelson's got a little announcement here. Attention all No Name Nationals participants in Pennsylvania. The Big Maple Grove Racer Flea Market is moved to Sunday. Stop by the stand if you're there. Cool. JB is building to pass tech. Shouldn't be an issue. No, shouldn't. Really, you shouldn't. If you have any questions, send them to me, and I can get anything that's not real cut and dry over to Deke, but we'll help you guys in advance if you have questions about pass and tech, because everybody who can just get there, pass tech, and have it behind them, great. That's going to help everybody else. So Dean Stevenson is giving Big Block some drive shaft advice. Nitrided steel to keep from making a pretzel out of it. Unfinished project is saying 25 Saturdays until the No Name Nationals in 2023. Hey, if that's what he says, I guess that's about right. Now, Andrew Nelson's weighing in on the rod ratio. His engine has a 1.88 rod ratio. Works good, but never did a 2-to-1. Yep. Mopar Jeff says it's snowing there. LA Auto Work says that Tom, new guy's guitar, can pass me in subs, but he's seeing taillights after that. That's a spirit. Thumper says that reminds me I need to get some fiberglass supplies to make a new hood. That's the kind of thing I can see Thumper doing. Thumper makes stuff. So, yeah, he's going to make a hood. That's cool. 815 LSX swaps / Motorsports Paparazzi. He's in the middle of a big storm right now. Yeah, I hear a lot of the country's got some big storms going on. Hope you guys are all safe. Deborah says that will be me. Yes, Mrs. Auto Salvage Outlaws. Sand Mountain Ballistics is here, a.k.a. Dakota's brother. That Fierro guy. Jay is waiting for tornado sirens to start going off. Yeah, we don't have anything like that here. I mean, it's very mountainous here. I heard somebody say one time, yeah, there was a tornado with this place. And then you watched coverage of it on the news. It was this little tiny funnel cloud. I mean, a nothing of a funnel cloud. It was smaller than a car. But they actually put it on the news. That's how small of a deal the idea of a tornado is here. Now, Dean Stevenson is saying the only time they do big 2-to-1 rod ratio engines is when they need to protect a stock iron or high rev aluminum block. Is that what I said? Like in production class block D-strokers and F1 engines. Oh, okay. 383 400 Mopar is 188. Yeah. Twisted Mopar is saying Gateway, which is St. Louis, Dragway there at St. Louis, is opening for the first points race this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday going to be very cool, if not just cold, 45 degrees. Alcohol won't like it at all. Well, there you go. Evans Mopars, now he's out on the left coast out there. He says, we don't have anything other than fires each year. We call it fire season. Oh, goodness. Punisher Lamont thinks Joplin holds the record on tornadoes. Joplin, Missouri, I guess that is. Now, we don't have really any crazy weather here. We just have mountains. It's pretty nice. Fire season, that just seems so weird to me. Big Block 402 sold a Pontiac 400 today. Dean Stevenson with some Ford knowledge there, talking about de-stroked Aussie engines. Now, that's interesting. So Andrew Nelson says the 4.8 LS is a 1.92 rod ratio. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm surprised it's that much. New Guy's Garage would take a few fires to warm this place. Let's see here. Dennis is saying that the storms blew by me already. It was 75, dropped to 58 already. Well, at least they're by you. At least they're not tearing the roof off the house. $815 LSX swap says, thanks. It's almost over. Good. I hope so. Cultured Redneck Garage says it definitely looks like a bad storm over Sykeston at the moment. Man, I hope our billboard is okay. In addition to everything else. But it just occurred to me, I'm like, oh gosh, I actually do have some property over there. Headed towards our house, watching it from Florida. Well, man, I hope everything's okay. Kyle, I'm really hoping that you get No Name Nationals 23. Love to see that sand rail in action, or whatever you want to bring. Henry's Hot Rod Garage is seeing the 400 with the longer 440 rods. That's about 4.5 tenths difference, not quite a half-inch difference in length. Ron English is asking how my mom and my aunt are. I guess they're fine. Mom sometimes is watching this. She was here earlier. Haven't seen Aunt Nancy on in a while. She watches sometimes too. Rapid Transit is saying test and tune coming soon. Our local track is now open. Rapid Transit Garage, there is something I'm looking for that track. I have no idea who would have it or where the archives would be. I want to know what the year was, if I can get the date on it or any press, any newspapers, anything on it, that Jeff Dane and King Kong did a car crush there at Great Lakes Dragway. And I think it was in sometime in the year 1980. If you can tell me where I might find anything on that, any correspondence, any newspaper, media stuff, because that was big media stuff back then. You got to realize the first time Bigfoot crushed cars in a field was April of 1981. And Jeff Dane claims to have crushed cars for a crowd earlier than that at Great Lakes Dragway. I would love to find some media on that. I think it would be interesting. Sam Mountain says we need a car dyno. Cool. One-eyed cat, I need to get wife Wendy down to our local track, just 45 minutes south. You both need to go there. Go enter the bracket. Do some testing too. Enter the bracket. Why not? I'm a terrible bracket racer. Old man in the shop built not bought, waving at JB with some bizarre amount of text where I guess something didn't translate to the phone. That's perfectly okay. That's pretty cool. And Blake says shark attacks are 10 times more likely in the ocean than a desert. Just 10? Mopar Den 174. Yes, sir. That's it. In fact, 174 is almost gone. Pit crew Ron. Yeah, Ron be a good crew man. Dakota says sometimes you get those Sharknadoes. No, you don't get anything crazy like that here. Thumper says shark attacks are super dangerous in Lake Superior. Could see that. The one-eyed cat is asking if Nivlac 57 runs at Beaver Springs. If you do, he wants to know when. Evans Mopar says his local track will be opening again soon. A lot of excited people. Yeah, Spokane Raceway Park, now called, is that Clips or Clisp? How would you even pronounce that? Oh, that's so weird. Indirect Connection says hello all. Glad you're here, Jason. Those of you who don't know, Indirect Connection is Jason Falk, the other half of the Rabid Transit Garage duo with Jay. And so Indirect Connection is kind of a new spin-off channel of his. If you've not yet checked it out, you should, because you're going to be seeing some bonus content from Rabid Transit Garage over there. Rabid Transit Garage, they were the first ever channel to register for the first ever No Name Nationals. And I think they were actually second. I think they were right behind RC Industry to make it to 500 first last year. Mopar Den says the trees are budding. We have some days to get the cars out for drives. Well, I agree. I need to pressure wash my driveway. It looks like the Exxon Valdez sank on it. I had a massive oil leak where I had a cracked variable valve time in solenoid on the CRV. Talk about a hard thing to find. It was a cracked casting. And the back of the engine buried up under stuff. But I got it changed. But man, is that driveway will never rust, I can tell you that. But I need to pressure wash it. So got to play a lot of musical cars in the driveway, and it's sloped, which I hate a sloped driveway, but whatever. Start at the top and just wash it good. Even have an oily spot at the mailbox where I stop and grab the mail. It's a bad leak. Big Block 402 has a gravel driveway, hides so much with it. You aren't kidding. But see, where it's flat, you can do that. Even uphill driveway here, it wouldn't work well at all. There you go. The Nelsons will be at Beaver, or planning to, May 27th and 8th. He's got to see. He's still recovering and healing, but last time I talked to Andrew, he was doing well. So I'm glad to see you in here. And looks like you're making plans to get back in the seat soon. Morel mushrooms? No idea what that is. Is that anything like a mushroom lifter? Dean Stevenson with a formula there. PuO2 to the 238th. What that is. Gravel, just rake it under or leave it. Yeah, this is a networking place. I love all the networking that goes on. Morrell makes good lifters. Yes. Yes. Henry says, catch us next week. Have a good weekend. You too, Henry's Hot Rod Garage. Yeah, One-Eyed Cats wants to see how things are going closer to then. Yeah. Time is one thing we never get any more of, but sometimes it's our friend. So see how it goes. Yeah. Moral mushroom hunting. Yeah. Mushrooms are just called things that go flying out of the mower when I run over them. I mean, you know. All right, Andrew Nelson. Fingers crossed, buddy. Wow. Well, Big Block 402 says first time Candy Cane's fired up since October, so he's getting it done. And Mopar Den, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Goes right in the fund. Thank you so much. That does help significantly. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to you being there. And I really appreciate that. This No Name Nationals, I mean, this is funded from within our community. So last year we elected to work with two people's reached out to us for sponsorship, whom we're on great terms with and may do something with this year. We never know. But they're within our community. Like, we have never had any money come from outside, like corporate or strings attached money come from outside to put this event on. This is done from the community. That's where it comes from. So we literally, we take what it cost, to put this event on and figure it up based on that. So there is no corporate money, hired talent, and then gouging tickets, to pay for it. There's none of that. This event is, raise the money from within, and also, therefore, it stays about you guys. VTP cameraman never dies. Yeah, Big Block 402 is saying huge tornadoes everywhere today. Well, that is a benefit to being in the mountains here, because I have heard about them. I know Just Mopar Joe had a really good close brush with a tornado today. They're out where he lives for sure. So I guess a lot of the Arkansans are getting tornadoes. That's what I'm hearing. That's who ought to sponsor the No Name Nationals, is that Dr. Pepper. Colleen, I miss a lot of comments occasionally. Let me tell you, we typically get over 1,000 comments per hour on this stream. That's about what we average. Ron says he appreciates us. Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate all you guys, because if it weren't for all you guys, there wouldn't be an event. I'm not going to rent a track to hang out with Dallas for a weekend. I can tell you that. we don't do it for ourselves. We do it for all of you guys. We want to do it with all of you guys. Unfinished Project wants to know how Heaven's Mopar's Duster's coming along. Me too. That's a cool project. Looked like my screen just blinked there a minute. No worries, though. If I go away, I'll be back. Yeah, I haven't seen Ed tonight. Hope Ed is okay. He's, I think he's further west in Arkansas than what Joe is. New Guy's Guitar loves Dr. Pepper. I'm telling you, Dr. Pepper needs to be on the periodic table as its own entity. So Big Block 402 is thinking of making a Sport Fury and convertible and get it running. The roof is really bad. Yes, I don't know if it was Pole Barn cut the roof off of something. I saw a thumbnail about it. I know that the Daddy's Money Garage guys have been talking about cutting the roof off of a Crown Vic, and it's about time for that to cycle back through YouTube. Guys cutting roofs off of stuff, making convertibles out of it. Deborah's Loving Life says ASO loves Dr. Pepper. I'm telling you, I love the Diet Dr. Pepper. Element 115. Well, Diet Dr. Pepper has been around since 1885. So I don't know what number you'd give it. 23 flavors, 1885, something like that. Oh man, Heavens Mopars. I know that feeling. I saw you doing housework. He's stuck remodeling parts of the house and get to play in the garage soon. I am in that boat with you, working on a house instead of cars. I've got a house 75 miles from here that takes all the time and all the money. Yes, look good putting some windows in it. I can't take those windows down a track. That's how it works. Yes, it's got new soffits and fascia board. Awesome. Can't pop the hood on soffits and fascia board. So, fun stuff has to wait for me. It's just the way it is. But this is fun. Andrew Nelson says, honest patina is cool. Keep the roof. Totally agree. Because you got the roof off, you're pretty much sacrificing the car. They start buckling up and all that. So Thumper says last month's been house stuff. For me, the whole season's going to be house. I'm going to be working on a house all year. Love to have it done by the end of the year, though. Pure Pontiac, I'm building the Coronet. Won't be able to build the Fury 2. I will sell it cheap, though. Okay. Jay is still with us. Just Snapchatted me. The Fifth Avenue is safe. Okay, so J-Bo's, is he in the path of storms there where he is? B-Dubs is working on new floors right now. Cool, man. How is your duster coming? I mean, you were putting a firewall in that thing. And again, if I do miss your comment, I do apologize. I'm on StreamYard and they come in blocks. But we truly are averaging right around 1,000 comments per hour on this stream. We were around 500 to 750, but in the last year now we're averaging around 800 to 1,000. When I have guests on here, it could be as many as 1,500 per hour. Heavens Mopars wants to cut the roof off a 62 Valiant and chop the top on it. I guess I'll find out how. Oh, goodness. Ron says other responsibilities than just a car. I don't have any responsibilities with building a car. I'd like to, but I look at that as something more for me but I've got other responsibilities of other people depend on me. So I got to get that house done. The No Name Nationals is a big responsibility for me, and I will get it done. And the house is a responsibility I need to get done. Those all affect other people. My project cars, we'll get to them when we get to them. And we'll do little things along the way, like building that 904. I am going to sneak up to the Pittsburgh area and build a torque converter for it with Mike Iben. That's going to be really fun. So I got some things like that along the way, but I can't really turn it up on that car until I can get some of these other things behind me. Just the way it is. No excuses here. I wanted to be racing 2021, and on that, I failed. But you know what? I'm going to succeed. Blake is watching Iowa in the Final Four. All right, cool. Get fifth in the garage, doesn't get any hail damage. I agree with that. We don't get much hail here, and we do. It's nothing big, not too bad. Oh, it depends who you ask. People who want a free roof think we get hailstones the size of cats here. I've never agreed with that insurance fraud of claiming hail damage to get a free roof. People do it all the time. I used to do mortgage inspections, and along with that, I would do insurance loss inspections, and I'd see it all the time. You have to go over there and get to what percent the work is done and all of that. And it's amazing how the roof made it 30 years, and the year the roof was completely worn out and needed to be replaced. Oh, look at that. A hailstorm got it. Big Block 402 says, although the 402 had sat for decades, I swapped the cam and timed and primed it and fired up instantly when I put spark to it. Sweet. One-Eyed Cat says people need to click the like button. Y'all are forgetting that part. You need to make sure you're subscribed to One-Eyed Cat, or at least see if he earns your subscription. He earned mine. Check it out. See if he earns yours. His link is pinned at the top. And I would say that most of the people in here, in fact, the strong majority of the people in here are probably already subscribed to the One-Eyed Cat. But you might have friends that do not yet know about Don English's channel. It's neat. Don's been plugging away, slow and steady up from last year, and he is going to make it. And just to say it again this year, because somebody didn't like the term, Don's going to punch his ticket to the second annual No Name Nationals when he gets 500 subs. But to punch one's ticket, you have to be registered and have a good attitude and make it, see, and get the subs. Yep, Brooke Clark, Levi's Backyard Performance here. Yeah, that's Brooke is the boss at Levi's Backyard Performance. Yes, tell your friends, One-Eyed Cat 307 3072 so they can find me. The link is pinned at the top. You know what you can do? If you want to send it to your friends, copy and paste that link at the top of the screen, and you can send it to your friends. Don has, and the best summary that you can give them as a hook is that Don has a pair of white 62 Valiants. How often do you see one of those, much less a pair of them? Heavens Mopars hits the like button after watching the whole video. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Do whatever you want to do. I think that's great. I used to remember this one guy would follow a channel that I did, and he would always leave the same comment every single time so that he knew he watched it, because his comment would always be at the top when he would look at that video logged in. I thought, that's a crazy way to do it. Can't you just hit the like button? It'd be easier than typing a comment. But anyway, whatever works for him. Thought that was interesting. SB says Don's channel pops up with the name. Yeah, it does now. Once you start getting a few hundred subscribers and you start coming up good in the searches. Takes a little bit at first sometimes, especially if your channel name has really common words in it, like unfinished in project. It took quite a while to find unfinished project on a word search, but you can now. Whereas Mohawk 62 together is a very unique search term. So he comes right up. But that really is the only difference, is the more common the words in your search terms, the longer it takes before you'll come up using a search for them. Yeah, and Dust Devil says, make sure to check out Twisted Mopar Garage, and if you like it, give him a sub. I was just saying that, Brian. Twisted Mopar Dennis, before this live, about an hour before this live, he has a video up on a Duster Twister. Had 593 views. 593 views in 3 hours for a channel that had 80 some subscribers. That's very significant. That's getting the push. You've got that many more people watching it than you have subscribers. That one can do some stuff for you right there. Dean says all the Finnish people don't like Unfinished Projects channel. Maybe so. I only know one person for sure who doesn't. Can someone use the same name as your channel? Well, I mean, the same name as your channel? Well, you can have multiple channels that have the same name. There are several channels with people. There are several people with the name John Wilburn, for example. And in Google, I am almost always the number 2 John Wilburn on Google after John Wilburn of McGuire Woods Law Firm. And he's almost always number 1. And then it's a random array on 3 down between the John Wilburn that got killed in a kayak accident a while back, one that works for the Red Cross, one who's a pastor. After that, it kind of rotates around. But that lawyer and I are like 1 and 2 with this name. But there are several channel names. Please don't, Dakota. We've been there. Andrew is saying that Levi, steady on most fronts. Tomorrow's a big day for X-rays and MRIs. Okay, cool. We'll see what happens. Keep me posted, Andrew. We all want you to have a speedy recovery, man. Mopar Den has been binge watching Jeep videos, and my dad's Jeep video comes up in the watch list. Yeah, that one right there, that video keeps just coming up and coming up. I'm going to do some stuff with that Jeep here pretty soon, Mopar Den. Don's at 471. Wow, man. You got 29 more to go. It's getting close. Wow. You're about 94%. John Millworm. I always get a kick out of that name. Yeah, New Guy's Garage. That's why I called my channel New Guy's Garage. There were too many Dan's Garages out there. Yeah. Well, my channel is just my name, but it definitely is always the top of the search for this name. So I'll take it. Been around a long time. Colleen's talking about how to use the search filters. Well, one thing that really helps is if the channel name has no spaces between the words, do your search the same way, because that kind of makes a unique word, and it helps a lot. John Millworm, what's funny about my name? It's kind of how the trolls misspell mine. No Gnome's Garage. Andrew, if the doctor's afraid of you running something fast, I'll put you in my car. Uh-oh. Andy's getting ready to haul out and go racing tomorrow. Good luck, buddy. Yeah, 6% recycled. Now, this is funny. He was saying that he has the 6% body fat channel that comes up when you're searching for him. Don says 470, lost a sub that fast. Oh my gosh. You should complain about people holding your channel down. No, it just happens. 30 to go for Don. Don is in the home stretch. He is cruising. Yeah, good luck, Andy. Hope they live stream it. I know there's not enough signal there, but I doubt that. Andrew says, go, Andy, go. Colleen, Tony. I don't think we need to take a straw poll in here. Big Block 402 is going to build the Coronet for daily driver to replace his Mustang GT. Right on, man. That'd be a great daily. I know losses happen, better than a half dozen, right? But you're going to get there. I'm excited because Don was a spectator last year and had so much fun. He said, I got to make this happen and get my 500 subs and race next year. So Don's going to do it. Dr. Art says, I'll be there. Cool. Dr. Art, the first person to go down the track at the first annual inaugural AHRA No Name Nationals. Dr. Art will always have that distinction. John Millworm says, I'm a Packard man. That is interesting. John Millworm, I actually have a Packard straight six in the hedgerow of my property. You have to know it's there to know it's there. I think the earth has almost reclaimed it. And builds transmissions on the side. Right on. Right on. I see. I'm digging that. You know what? I'm gonna have to go over to his channel. See if I can do this without messing up my stream here. I think I can. Run like a sewing machine. Yeah, Packards are great. My grandfather was a Packard guy. Andy said that'll be a trivia question in the future. Right, Dr. Art, the first person to make a pass. That's right. Unfinished projects and save that Packard engine. You know, I agree with that. I kind of don't want to move it. But I know where the car is that it came out of. 38 Packard. I know where the car is. And I bet the guy would give me real money for it to have the numbers matching engine, even though I can't imagine it running again. But you never know. Be a great video, maybe. Yeah, so Don and Wendy English, they celebrate their anniversary at the No Name Nationals. Been together 37 years. Andrew Nelson ran a 38 POS, ran a Henry J at Drag Week in 2011. Was that what you ran, Andrew Nelson? Or what he ran? Henry J, if I recall, I think you could get those for under $1,000 out of the Sears catalog. The Henry J. They're cool cars. Oh man, my mom just sent me news here. So Virginia Tech, which I live right here at Virginia Tech, I was actually there today. Virginia Tech went down to LSU in the Final Four. Oh man. Bummer. Auto Salvage Outlaws says, I got married 2 times in 1 week, got 2 anniversaries. Okay. Danny Boyd says, Virginia Tech, a good supply of tenants. Yes, but my property is not here. See, the problem here is not the tenants. You got all the tenants in the world. The problem here is affording the property. It's crazy. I have my properties in my hometown where property is cheap and the tenant selection is abysmal. Could do a hilarious live on tenant stories. sometime. Unfinished Project put up the link for Twisted Mopar Garage, Dennis there, and check it out. He's got some neat stuff. I want to see that that Twister video. That's got me intrigued by the amount of views that thing's got. He's working on a lot of other neat stuff too. I know he's got a 70 Dart 344 speed car he's been doing some rust repair on, not to mention his race car. He's got a Duster. Auto Salvage got married at the pastor's house, then had service the next night. Okay. NSB says go sub to Twisted Mopar so we can battle it out at No Name Nationals 2023. Well, check it out. I mean, I like his channel. Check it out. Cultured Redneck says, I bet being a landlord is hard work, especially if they aren't good at keeping the place up. Man, I had a tenant complain about the heat bill being too high. They removed a sash from the window and it was missing. The whole sash, not just the glass. I've had tenants move out and decide to paint the cabinets black. I had a tenant wouldn't mow the grass the whole time they lived there and stole the lawnmower when they left. Had a tenant steal an insurance claim on a broken window one time, spin it, and told the judge that they fixed it and it got broken in exactly the same pattern as before. Just, if you think that being a landlord is easy money, you got to reevaluate. Brooke Clark, FC7, exactly. Dakota said, I need some subs too. Well, yeah, you do. Make us a funny video, man. Put it out there. Dakota's timeout, I think, was about 143 last I looked. So Dakota's over a quarter of the way. JB says being a landlord's a pain. Been there, done it, sold the place, a lot happier. Yeah, I hear you. Even if you have good tenants, if it's not one thing, it's 50. I totally agree with that. Auto Salvage says, done it after 9 months. I sold 4 places. Don't tempt me. Passive income, nothing, Danny Boyd. Oh my gosh, it's always something. Had a friend who had tenants when they left, but raw chickens in the ductwork. Yeah, I can see that. Tenants will do it. All kinds of crazy stuff. Oh yeah, Dean Stevens. He wants to be the muscle that goes and takes care of the tenants. No, I don't have any problem with that. It's just, I'd just rather just have good people that pay the rent, I mean, man, I don't ask for much. Last one I had to evict, that place is much nicer than where I live. New train, heat pump, completely remodeled kitchen. I'm talking to the studs. That kitchen was remodeled. I mean, it's just hard to get good tenants. When you get one, you take care of them. Ron English is saying, where's a good place to find a battery shutoff switch? Well, what say all of you guys? I will plug this. If you're an AHRA member, you are part of the Racers RIP program, and you get a discount on everything between 5 and 25% in the competition products catalog. But there's lots of other places too. O'Reilly sells them. I know you can get it from any of your parts places. Now, if you're talking about where's a good place to find it on the car, should be at the rear of the car, and that's I see them in different places. But remember, you're not putting it where you have an easy time seeing it. You're putting it where somebody else has an easy time seeing it. Okay, I haven't read. I usually read them all the way through before, but I'm going to go ahead and start reading Dan's. I might pay for it. Of course, now that 21st century morons are landlording, the thing to do is rip out the building's heat and put in ineffective, expensive to operate electric baseboard heaters in place. Well, yeah, that's because the landlord puts in a new heat pump outside for $5,000 and someone steals it for the copper. That's why that is. So I can see the other side of that too. Tenants and their car parts all over. I have never had a tenant that was a car guy. Never once. It'd be so cool if I had a tenant that was a Mopar parts hoarder who got behind and said, "Hey, ma'am, you know what? I'll just trade you this for the back." I've never had that. Never once. I'm not that lucky. Actually, I haven't done that, Danny Boyd, but I mean, I know people who have. Yeah. Andrew Nelson had the Henry J at Drag Week, 1,300 ish, $27 less than the Chevy 13 and less than the Ford. The lowest cost car that could seat 5 and go 60 miles an hour. Yeah, I remember something about that. Twisted Mopars has been here 9 years and the landlord's been great. I want to be here till I pass. Well, that's cool. The place where I had my classroom for my firearms classes, a friend of mine had a gun store. He had a big room next to the gun store. It was perfect. They had a range set up there. It was fantastic. I was basically a sublease of his, but it was great. So easy to get along with. Kept things good. It was great. But all good things come to an end. He had to retire a little early for health reasons, and that was that. Danny Boyd says all good so they can get the heat bill in the tenant's name. Well, yeah, and that's another thing. So not to deviate completely off of this, but I like what our power company does. It's called a landlord account. So basically it gives me co-control of the power bill so that they can't move out, cut the heat in the middle of winter. That's a good thing. Andrew Nelson says the Henry J's were rebadged as all states and sold through the Sears catalog. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. And by the way, when you're going to Sikeston, to Jeffers Motorsports Park, for you guys that were coming from the east, you'll probably remember these real narrow bridges, which Wendy English hates. These real narrow bridges. Between the first narrow bridge and the even narrower bridge, there's this little point of land in the state of Illinois. You go through about 100 yards of Illinois. But right there where that is a place called, I think they pronounce it Cairo. It's spelled like Cairo, Egypt. That's where Sears homes were built. They're catalog homes. Back when you could buy an entire home kit from the Sears catalog, they were made right there. Because that's where there's two rivers come together. They had the boats and all the supplies come in right there. Twisted Mopar's got some advice on those. He said, master shutoff switches, be careful. Oh, what'd I do? Most are only 25 amps, not enough for the demand of the starter and other items. Okay, that's good. It's really good to know. Ron English, I'm not even sure what you're asking about that 8 3/4 chunk. You can reword that a little bit. I'll see what I can do with that. Yes, those bridges suck. Yeah, they're just narrow. I wasn't pulling a car trailer through there, but I'll tell you one thing. There was one time on the way across in the van that I know my driver's, because the van's got those real wide trucker mirrors on it. I know my mirror was over top of somebody else's trailer. It is narrow, really narrow, scary narrow. Cultured redneck fishes off a point there. Yeah, I can see that. It's on. Yeah, those bridges they're tight. I think Dallas said they were built about 1915, something crazy far back like that. They are not wide enough. Yeah, you can take a little bit different route to avoid those bridges. If you're going through Wickliffe, Kentucky, going that way through that little point of Illinois, you will run into those bridges. First responder garage, what about hooking up a relay to a 600 amp solenoid, running the relay to the ignition, act like a kill switch? I wouldn't trust that for a cutoff. I would not. Unfinished projects, putting up the link to that Fierro guy. So First Responder Garage had something neat I saw on his channel. And man, if Damien, I think if you reworded that title and put a thumbnail of the car in it, I bet it would get a lot more views, because I was thrilled to see what you had in there. He's working on what I believe is Ralph Macchio's actual car that he drove in The Karate Kid, that Ford convertible. Really cool. I hope you do a video on it, man. I'll share it. Wendy likes the advanced notice, still won't keep her eyes open. Well, if Wendy decides to swim across, make sure you get some video. Andrew Nelson, 102-inch wide trailers greased to slide through. Ooh, the semi's running too fast in the other direction. Yeah, I can totally believe that. What's a thumbnail? Thumbnail image is what you put in your video. It's what you see on the video that you actually click on. So as we said, the title is what gets the video out there. The thumbnail is what gets people to click, and the content's what gets them to come back. Oh my gosh, you got a bunch of videos on it, haven't gotten around to posting. Man, you took one well-titled video with that for the thumbnail, that'll get a lot of play. Big Block 402 replaced the dimmer switch in the AMC, and now all the lights are working. Fantastic. I had some bad trailer wiring in the Assault CRV, and it was keeping my left turn signal from functioning properly. Danny Boy, was the thumbnail tonight, Rick James? Yeah, the thumbnail for this video was. Yeah. Jerry Racing in the house. Outfits is here. Usually I'll see somebody greeting someone to know even if I miss them. So Outfits is already at the very top of the screen. Yeah, 38 POS Racing is a good way to explain it. First responder, the thumbnail is the cover of the book for video. That's an excellent explanation. Slant Daily Garage is here. How's it going, Professor P? We need to get Professor P back on a Friday Live sometime. I think that will be fun. We had a good time last time. Oh, wow. He said the tornado passed 3 miles south of us. Oh, goodness. Dakota says the thumbnails when you're using a nail gun and not paying attention to what you're doing. Right. Yeah, Slant Daily says yes. Well, yeah, man. Indirect Connection is asking where Slant Daily is. Twisted Mopar Garage is saying that the NHRA wants to disconnect on the rear of the car. Needs to be labeled as well so safety personnel can see it and shut things down. Correct. So, for example, if you tag a wall or something of that order, the safety personnel want to be able to come up and shut off your electricity from a master disconnect switch before anything else, as soon as they walk up. Colliersville, Tennessee. Shane, I don't know if you're in your office. If you want to jump in tonight, just as a little ambush bonus, you're welcome to. Let me know. Muskego, Wisconsin. Ooh, goodness. Just sounds so cold every time I think about it. Unfinished project with the link to Smoke Wrench Garage. Slant Daily has no power. Yeah, I understand that. I'm glad you joined us. I appreciate it. We'll get the Professor P on sometime. It's always fun. Yeah. Disconnect, an item on my tech list. Well, One-Eyed Cat, you may not have to have that for the ET you're running. Okay. So we'll talk about tech. Colleen has seen a photographer jump the wall and hit the disconnect. Yep, exactly. Dakota says, if you want the power, ditch the Slant 6 and build a Hemi. Okay. If you want the power, ditch the Pontiac 455 and do a 454 Chevrolet. How about that? Oh my gosh. Dakota's blood pressure just went up right there. Jerry says, I'll be on the lookout. We still don't have our engine parts back. We're supposed to be running in 3 weeks. Thumper says tech below 750 is super easy. I would tend to agree with that. I'm trying to watch my my messages here, because I got Jay asking me about that thing for Great Lakes Dragway. I'll get with him after the live, because I have a guess that actually pertains to. So Jabo said it should kill the engine also. Yes. Mohawk said thought it was only if your battery is trunk mounted. I believe it is. I believe that is the case. But Don has a battery mounted trunk. So yeah, actually he would. Yep. You're right. That's right. Thumper says his fighting words. Save your fighting for the track. No, I'll tell you what, I'm really thrilled with all the diversity of cars that we have at the No Name Nationals. Man, I am so looking forward to all the Pontiacs and all the different makes. Great. Clint Street Machines, he gets the thumbnail. I knew Clint would, no question. Well, Ron English, Don and I will talk about it after the live. I got some notes here from Deke. We'll make sure, but I believe that is correct since it's a battery mount in the trunk. Dakota sold a Chevy 454 a few weeks ago. Motorhome. Cool. Neat. Dennis is saying if the battery's in the trunk. Okay, I just had forgotten Don's was back there. But I should have remembered it, because at Carlisle, he had a dead battery, and it was in the trunk. You know, Danny boy, there's some people making some significant power with the peanut port heads on the 454. More than I would have thought. Jure is saying you should always have a helmet, but 850 and faster. So the AHRA requires a helmet for anything going down the track. ET is irrelevant. Everyone has to have a helmet going down the track. If your car is 764 and quicker in the 8th, you need to have a Snell helmet, 2015 or newer. You can get away with a DOT if it's 765 or slower. Big Block 402, that. Heavens Mopars wants to call Don out when I get my 62 Valiant up and running. Heavens Mopar Scott, what is the plan this year? You planning to bring a car this year, or just fly in, or what's the thought? Dust Devil Garage found a good channel on YouTube for wiring its Ratty Muscle Car. Is that Ratty Muscle Car's Austin Griggs channel by chance? Andrew Nelson says, don't skimp on the helmets or belt, folks. Wise words. I'm just telling you what the requirements are per AHRA. Do remember, though, requirements are completely different from how you appraise your own life and your own safety. Nobody else has the right to tell you what your life is worth. So even though there's a standard, just remember, the rules are written in blood and you do what you think you need to do. Personally, I'm a full face helmet kind of guy. That's me. That's just me. Twisted Mopar says I need to buy a new helmet. Get you a Snell. Well, here's the thing, 38 POS Racing. You got room to get quicker and quicker with that. You got room to get quicker with that. Dakota's timeout says, so helmet from the 1970s won't work. Yeah, I don't like to get into all that stuff. Let's just be real with our safety. Bite the bullet, get a helmet, protect your brain. Clint saw a dude in an open face helmet get burned up in a fire full face for me. I can't take the idea of having that kind of impact with nothing to take an impact like that. I mean, that got Dale Earnhardt. Open face helmets are a little bit scary for me for that reason. Outfits Garage says Snell 2015 for less than $300. Yeah, I know they're not cheap. We were talking about protecting your brain. You think about it, like a boxer, they knock people out with a good punch on the jaw. I mean, I prefer a real helmet. Outfits is saying race quick full face. Something Garage is going to look into a Snell. The nice thing about a Snell is you can grow with it. You can get quicker with it. Auto Salvage. I thought I was the odd man out because a lot of people laugh at me for the full face helmet thing. But no, apparently a lot of people like the full face helmet. T's Good Time Garage. Yep, here in time to agree with safety. Full face for me. T's Good Time Garage. That's a fun channel right there. He's doing the A-body Mopar thing and running quick. Just put a torque flight together. I like that channel. I know it's a good haul for him from Utah, but I would love to see him come out to the No Name Nationals. I think he'd have a good time with our crowd. Yep, Heaven's Mopar saying it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for him, but if anything he can fly in, we'd love to see you, man. Hopefully you can do it. Love to see you. First Responder Garage is spending $1,000 on a drum that won't explode, but won't spend $400 on a helmet to protect your life. It's not really an either-or thing. Now, I opted to use a cast drum in my torque flight, but it's a 904. It's a smaller, lighter drum. I'm going to run a blanket with it, and it's got an 11-bolt bolt-in 12 roller sprag. So there's several reasons why I'm much, much less likely to have an exploding drum problem with that transmission than a 727 with a cast drum, much bigger, more inertia, Preston Sprague, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So all things considered, I think my cast drum will be okay for what I'm doing. Motorcycle helmet won't pass. Well, it does for the certain ET and the AHRA. That said, would I recommend it? I can't tell you what you should have to protect your life. Colleen said, does Snell have expiration dates? Yes. We are on Snell 2015 or newer right now. Andrew Nelson says, I buy high-end helmets. One look at the one I was wearing in February would make a lot of folks buy good helmets. Just saying. Can understand. One-Eyed Cat, I'm happy to have a bolt-in Sprague next year. Yeah, I'm doing a 727 for Don English. So we'll be having some pictures and stuff of that come along. We're going to do a bolt-in Sprague in it, a few things. So that'll be a fun build. Twisted Mopars deep in the sixes. Yep. Thumper says, I run TH400s. No booms with them. Oh, no, sir. They blow up on the top end. If you let out the throttle on the top end, those things can, that's if they blow up, that's where they do. But a TorqueFlite blows up at the starting line. They only blow up in first gear. I'm not familiar enough with how the TH400s blow up on the top end, but I know they can. I'm very familiar with how the TorqueFlite blows up in first gear. And that's one reason I really like one of the features that John Cope puts in all his valve bodies. And if anybody else puts this feature in theirs, it's a good thing to have, and that's low band apply, so that you have not only the Sprague, but you also have that big low reverse band holding in first gear, because it's less likely to spin the Sprague, and there goes the drum taking off to explosion. One-Eyed Cat says, if I blow up the transmission, we may have to have a pit thrash. Sure, works for me. Got a whole bunch of people to help you. We'll have that done in less than an hour. Yes, Cope explained the 400 blow up on one of his. He did, but I'm just not real familiar with how the TH400 Power Flow blows up their drum. I do know how the TorqueFlite does its. And Slant Daily Garage says low band apply. Yes. But one big help is just do your burnout in second gear with the TorqueFlite. Just do it in second. You'll never blow it up in second gear. Then when you go to launch from first. But it's when it hooks back up, rolling out of the burnouts, when it's most likely to do that. And that's why you should do your burnout in second, because if you do it in first, so people say, yeah, do it in first and immediately upshift to second. I say you're in the water. Why in the world do you need first? You're telling me your car won't do a burnout from the water box in second gear? Really? Danny Boyd says you should have a camera crew follow you around with NNM to see what all goes on. Oh, man, it's a madhouse. It's a lot of fun. Cameras everywhere, though. Thumper says with everything being under 6,500, they don't break. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how the power flow works in the TH400. I know that in the TorqueFlite, if you spin the Sprague and it's no longer holding, you're going to spin in reverse ratio. You'll spin forward in reverse ratio. And reverse ratio is 2.21 to 1. So about a little over 4,000 RPM will spin the drum to 9,000. And 9,000 is right about where the cast drums start coming apart. And when they do, it's wickedly violent. Pieces through the floor and everything. Cope had a couple of toes just get severed from it one time. People have lost feet like that. Cope's coronet, you can see it to this day. If you look down in the cowl, you can see where a piece of the drum went right up through the body of the car. To me, $795 to put a billet drum in your 727 is a fantastic investment. Colleen, I'm not sure. That event is very hard to shoot that way. It just, oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's all kinds of content coming out of the event, though. It's the event that covers itself. Big Block 402 said his buddy's Duster did it, lost half of his right foot. There you go. That messing around with neutral drops and the stuff like that and blowing up transmissions, I mean, it's fun and games until those pieces come through the floor. And like Steven's buddy there, lost half of his right foot. I just don't, it's just not a good idea. Outfit says, wasn't that what happened to Don Garrett's car? I'm not sure. Maybe. So I've got Jed's sticker and a few others, and yours has got to be got to be just in my book or something. What in the world happens? I put yours in the console of my van the day I left. But anyway, when I take this down, I got some more stickers to put in here. Danny Boyd says, why don't the Sprags fail when you floor it in a 318 and hold it past 4,000? Well, because the Sprag is what's holding. It's when the Sprag slips and the Sprag fails that it's no longer holding that drum. That's what the Sprag does. And when it's not holding, then the power flow goes awry and it spins the reverse ratio, forward in reverse ratio, 2.21 times faster than that. So that's where the drum gets to 9,000 and it can break. Twisted Mopar Garage never had a 727 take out the rear Sprag, never blew up a 904. Well, 904 is a lot harder to blow up. They don't blow up like that. But the 727, I've seen several of them do it. We just saw a couple do it on YouTube, and they laughed about it. That's why 727s need to have that rear Sprag bolted in. That helps a lot. But then the ultimate safety is really to have a billet drum. Our friend John Cope and several other reputable builders sell those parts. And if I was doing a 727 in my car, which is what it did have in it, it would 100%, no question whatsoever, bolt-in Sprag billet drum. But I'm doing a 904. And it's got a much beefier Sprag design right from the factory, a much lighter drum, smaller diameter and lighter drum, and running a blanket. So I think what I've got is going to be fine. But I won't mess around with safety. Like, I don't need to lose a foot. My knees remind me I'm old every day. The last thing I need is to lose a foot. Dakota says feet are nice to have. Yes, they're handy. Especially when you want to walk. Agreed. It's all relative, Don. Danny Boyd's got 100-year-old knees. Well, you think about it, if people recycled the knees, artificial knees out of people, that'd be interesting. You could have 100-year-old knees. I'm just glad that they don't make artificial joints out of whatever that is they make those Moog ball joints and tie rod ends out of. You'd have to have a knee replacement every year. 6% says you don't want your foot looking like his right foot. Yeah, he said he's had a lot of surgeries and whatnot on his foot. He uses feet when he gets a glass of Tang. There you go. I got to make sure we got to give Dakota a timeout because Dakota needs timeouts that helps him keep his youth. That's his power. That's Dakota's power nap is getting a timeout. He'll be back in about 4.5 minutes. Twisted Mopars is not any different than clutch cars. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. We're talking about like blow-proof bell housings. Yeah, we got to take precautions with those too. 57 2 knees is 114. Well, there you go, Danny Boyd. That's Danny Boyd math for you right there. Craig McDonald says, good thing we don't have a grease fitting on artificial knees. Well, why not? Colleen is saying, time him out, time him out. Unfinished Project says, Jay, at least you got cheese. I've never been to Wisconsin. Maybe one year I'll get there. I really would like to go to all 50 states before I croak out. The only thing I can even think I would even remotely want to go to Iowa to go for is the Bad Tree Guys. But I need to get to them all. So we'll see what we can do. Big Block 402 just got his knees tuned up. There you go. Heavens Mopars is a guy selling a CRT built 727 for $5,000. Said he spent $9,000 to have it built. How in the world? What's in that thing? Billet shafts and everything? Thumper says, I have no desire to visit a few certain states. Well, I agree. Like, for instance, I've never been to Massachusetts. I'd kind of like to go to say I've been, but I have no idea. I mean, maybe find something to hit Boston, hit some sights and get out of there. I don't know what I would do there. Live your bucket list. Well, that's what I try to do. An awesome week of dirt racing, the Boone IMCA Super National. That sounds like a lot of fun. So Salem, Massachusetts is where Big Block 402 recommends visiting if you go to Massachusetts. Indirect connection needs Alaska and Hawaii. He's been to all the rest. Wow, you're a well-traveled dude. My dog has been to 18 states. He's a well-traveled dog. I don't know how I would get him to Alaska and Hawaii, but he's been to a lot of states. Most dogs can't say they've barked at motorcycles in 18 states. Thumper says you can see Boston playing Fallout 4. It's much nicer in the game. I hear there's a lot of West Virginia in one of those games, and that to me is interesting. Danny Boyd's been to more than half, no Alaska and Hawaii. Yeah, that's good. Indirect connection almost all in a truck. Cool. Wow, man, we're 154. Time has flown by pretty good tonight. Been a lot of fun. You guys have any last things? One thing I'll drop just so we know. I haven't formally announced it yet anywhere, but I've mentioned it a few times. If you guys are if you are registered by Labor Day you can renew your number, your car number. So you have to be registered by Labor Day because I can't chase that down and keep reworking my sheets that close to time to go. Surely by Labor Day, you will know if you're going to Sikeston. But you can renew your car number if you're registered by Labor Day. And I got to tell you, I have never seen an event with so many people. I cannot believe how many car numbers are still on the cars from last year. It's amazing. Yeah, Indirect Connection sent me a picture of a coworker's foot. I'm going to open it. I saw it come in. I'm going to open it up there in a minute. Dakota's been to Georgia. I've been to Dakota's part of Georgia. I've been to see Dakota. I timed Dakota out in person. How cool was that? Big Block 402, I'd like to just keep my new registration number. I mean, renew your car number. Oh, Colleen, Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans was the only channel registered. So Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans can renew that car number. Shows the pride of the people in the event. Yeah, Joe said that says something. I think it's cool that people care about this event and keeping their car numbers on the car. And the ones who haven't have them like on their shop walls. I think it's really cool. NSB says if we're registered, we get to keep our car numbers. That's all we do. Yeah, you're already registered, man. And NSB, I think you had, was it 3 and 4 were your car number, something like that? 17 states for Dust Devil. Cool. Doing it for Dale 3 and 4. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because Rapid Transit's got 1 and 2. 96 for the Dart, the Ram 50. So you'll probably have 96 and something else. Danny Boyd, where all has he been? Florida, Alabama, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey, New York, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Missouri, California, and AL. We already said Alabama. Okay, well, I've never been to New York and up in there, so. Yeah, I figured we'd have a bunch of the number stuff go crazy, but Thumper, well, I was going to say, I got to look at the car numbers. I don't have them in my head. I've got the registration numbers. I've got the car numbers on another sheet in the book. It will take me some bookkeeping to do it. Dallas did not want to do it, and I don't blame him. It will be much easier on me to not. But yeah, Dust Devil 25, yeah, you can renew your numbers if you're registered by Labor Day. Mohawk's been to 38 or 48. Well, that's cool, man. I'd like to go to 50. I really would. My ammunition comes from South Dakota. Maybe I could go get a little tour while I'm there. Shout out to Defiant Munitions. Good stuff. Danny Boyd says maybe Oklahoma. Okay. Who's got 23? I don't know. I'd have to look. So the car numbers are not the same as the registration numbers because people registered multiple cars. And then so many people, some wouldn't show up, some registered last minute. So anyway, the car numbers are all over the place. They're not tied to the registration numbers. Dakota owns South Dakota. Without me, they would be in trouble. Yeah, I can see that. Totally logical. Man, we're at the 2-hour mark. This time just flies by with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Anybody have anything, anything you want to plug? I want to thank the mods for putting up links and keeping things running right tonight. That's been very good. Been a fun evening. Sure have enjoyed you guys' company. This is a highlight of my week for sure. Thank you all for being here. Very sincerely. Do you guys have anything that you need to plug? Any videos that you're going to be dropping this week? You want to got a live audience to tell are coming? Twisted Mopar's checking out. Yep. Well, guys, I think we're all going to check out. So with that, it's going to be April, and I have not looked at the calendar, but should be, make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, the second Sunday in April is Easter, so we'll probably shift off that a little bit. But we're going to have a content creator workshop in early April, and then we're going to try to do those once a month. Doesn't mean you can't ask questions all the time. You certainly can. But with the content creator workshops, I'm going to try to host. I was going to try to host some good guests who really know this stuff. Like some guys that were really proficient from the No Name 500 last year and some of our savvy friends to do the creator workshops. So we'll be doing that here pretty soon. More announcements. The No Name Nationals coming soon. Like I said, I'm going to be out there on the ground here in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to get some things squared away. I like to tell you guys things when I have them done. I'll tell you a little bit of what I'm working on, but not too much, because again, we like to announce things when you have them ready to announce, and it seems to work better that way. It's cleaner. You don't backtracking and changing things. I've got more guests for this show, so I haven't had as many guests this winter for various reasons. Not for any lack of interest. I have a pile of cards and lists sitting right here below my computer with people that I have penciled in that I'm working out schedules for. I have some really cool guests coming up you will not want to miss. But for different reasons, I've had more freestyle lives like this, but there are some great guests coming. I assure you, things you will not want to miss, especially if you like really hardcore, nerdy, interesting tech. Got some really great stuff on that coming up. But anyway, with that, I'll see you guys later, and y'all have a great evening. Look forward to seeing you next Friday. Take care.